to bake with me. If you don't already love me, you are gonna love me after today. But show me that love. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, all those wonderful things. Ring my bell.
Ring my bell.
Okay, we're done. So today, I am gonna teach you how to make an apple cake. Let me tell you, it is one of my best recipes. One of my best. My kids, my husband, that's all they want. Apple cake, where's apple cake? Make us apple cake. No, I'm tired of making you apple cake, but I'm gonna teach you how to do it, so then you can do it for them. So it's really great, it's really simple, it's as easy as pie. No, not pie. It's better than pie. It's a piece of cake. I went there.
Nice, very well done.
All right, so I want to introduce you to a very dear friend and a wonderful human being. Please welcome Jason. Jason, my friend, why did I invite you here to be with us today?
Well, the reason you invited me here is that we were going to talk about, we were going to make an awesome apple pie, which I'm super psyched for.
Apple cake.
Apple cake, excuse me. And we were also going to talk about depression.
Yes.
It can seem a little somber, but I think it's a necessary message, and a lot of people suffer from it, and I'm happy to talk about it if it's useful for other people who are going through that.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you, Jason. I know it's not easy, and people do in all different forms and all different levels.
Yeah.
There can be situational depression, clinical depression, which you have fought with your entire life, I think you've told me. So we'll talk about that more. First, we're gonna get into some apple cake.
Awesome.
Right? All right, so what we're gonna do first is you're gonna take 1 stick of softened butter. Bloop, you gotta have sound effects.
Okay, perfect.
And then 1 cup of granulated sugar. Again, I always use organic cane sugar. And we're gonna mix that. So this is just gonna take a second, and we'll be happy to talk in just a second after I blend this. You wanna make this nice and creamy. So you wanna get those mixed real good. Don't be afraid of getting in there. You gotta beat that butter good. It's the only thing you're allowed to beat, right?
Okay.
Not people.
You gotta let it know who's boss.
You gotta let the butter know who's boss.
Exactly.
Or if you like to say it in my household, it's butter. Butter. It's smooth like butter.
Get to the butter.
Right? Then we have 2 eggs, and you're gonna wanna do 1 at a time. Just gradually add your eggs in there. 1. Mix that up real good. Just make sure that your eggs get really incorporated. And then we do the second one. While I do this, Jason, if you wouldn't mind, we have 3 to 4 apples. I used 4 apples because they were kind of small. You're gonna wanna go with a Granny Smith apple because it's nice and tart. And we take 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 3 tablespoons of sugar. Just go ahead, actually pour them in the bowl first, and we're gonna mix them up a little bit.
All right, so you said go ahead and pour this and this into the bowl.
Yep.
All right.
And then just give it a little tossy toss, combine those. While I combine these.
Oakley dokley.
Oakley dokley?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. And then you're gonna take that mixture, I'll take that.
Sure.
And you're gonna pour it over the apples and just get in there with your hands, mix them real good.
The smell is already killing me. Absolutely not. Not when it comes to apples and cinnamon, I am totally game.
Nice. So I have a cup of gluten-free flour, and I'm gonna mix it with 1 teaspoon of baking powder. How's that feel?
Oh, it smells and feels delicious.
I'm just gonna give that a little stir to make sure those get mixed up together. And then I am going to blend this combination into my wet mixture real quick. How's that? Ooh, you wanna try one? Do you like cinnamon?
Can I? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
My goodness, yes.
Oh, I had a towel here for you, it disappeared.
I'm just gonna take these if that's okay, and you can go and make another batch.
Does it look at that? It's fun to do, and it's a great recipe to make with kids too, because kids love to get their hands dirty.
Oh, absolutely. I can see it being like a fun family event.
If they eat an apple or 2 with the cinnamon and sugar, that's also a good thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is it. This is going to be our base. This is our batter here. All right. I think I got that nice and mixed. You want to make sure you get every bit of this batter because it is delicious. Delicious. All right, so I used a springform pan.
Okay.
If you don't mind handing that to me. If you don't have a springform pan, that's fine. You can use a square pan or even one of your round cake pans. Just make sure it has a little bit of depth to it and just put some parchment paper in it so that you can pull it right out. The springform pan's nice because you just open it up and it pops right out. So we are gonna throw our batter at the base of this pan. All right. This is easy peasy. And then you're just gonna take whatever you have, any kind of spatula or spreader, And you're just gonna smooth out your batter. It's a little tacky, that's okay. You just wanna cover the base of your pan, just like that. So Jason, honey, tell me when you first recognized that you had depression.
Now, that's a really interesting thing because I had to deal with these issues when I was really young. But I didn't realize that what I suffered from was actual depression. I just thought it was normal.
Well, we hardly talk about it today, which we need to be talking about it, so I'm glad you're here. But back then especially, we certainly didn't talk about it, especially as young men, right?
Yes. There was such a great stigma against mental health, against talking about how you feel as a person and the things that you suffer. And one of the things I'm very grateful for is that stigma has lessened over time. And one of the things I hope is by people coming up and talking about the things that they struggle with is that for the next generation, these things will be more open and more honest, and hopefully better. People do better with this.
And you know how that happens? By doing what you're doing today.
Exactly.
By coming in and talking about it. I love it. Thank you, Jason, so much. And what happened when you realized it? What was going on in your life where you decided now's the time to address this?
Well, for me, I got to a very dark place, and I decided that I either needed to make some changes or I was just done. It was just, I was living in constant pain and I just couldn't take it anymore. Yeah. And even though going through those changes was extremely difficult, it was literally like walking through fire or even performing surgery on yourself. Not fun.
Really?
But it was such a worthwhile thing to do, because if you had gone back in any time in my life and told me about how I'd be living now, how much happier, how much joy I have, and how much family and wonder I have in my life, I would not have believed you. And I'm so thankful to be here with the people that I love.
Aww. I love you, man.
I love you too.
I'm so glad you're here. I really appreciate
Thank
it. And it becomes that cyclical thing when you're in a depression, you have these thoughts and then you tell yourself that you're not worth it, or you tell yourself that nobody cares, and that's just not true. That's your brain. That is the depression telling you these things. So once you let it out, right?
And that's when I'm very glad that you mentioned that, because it's easy we all have that voice, that negative voice in our head that says things to us. I want to say two things. One, that voice is a liar. It does not have your best interests at heart, and sometimes when you think it's trying to protect you, it's not. And then two, in some cases, that voice isn't yours. Maybe someone else put that there. Maybe a parent or an authority figure who had their own struggles and was doing the best that they can, they put that voice inside you. And I think it's important to recognize it and deal with that so you don't pass it on to the next generation.
Wow, that is beautiful. That is so beautiful. You know what else is beautiful?
Apple cake.
Apple cake.
Yes.
So this is really great. You want to take your apples and you're just going to press them so it pushes your dough, your batter, into the side of the pan. And you're going to make a pretty little pattern. You're just going to go around and around with your apples until it's full.
That's very pretty.
Okay, so I'm going to keep doing that while you're talking because you are an amazing voice for this. I think that you have a great way of being open and honest and strong. So I want to hear from you how you made that difference in your life.
It was through a lot of things. One of the things I think was very helpful was cognitive behavior therapy. Now, I never went to a therapist, I never took medication. It was just research on the things that I had to do to resolve this. And I basically was throwing darts at the board, trying to figure it out. But what the interesting thing was is that each thing I attempted leveled me up in a way. Learned it had these alternative stats that basically the only way I could put it is that even I worked in one area or another area that seemed completely unrelated, it all came together in a holistic way. And also, one thing I also want to point out is it is 1,000 times easier to grow as a person or to deal with issues when you have a support group of people that love and care about you. Yes. It's infinitely easier. And if you're struggling in that dark time, I just want you to know that, one, you're not alone. People have gone through similar pains, and that two, to try to find people that will support you, that you can be open with, and that won't tear you down, but will at least listen and hopefully show you that support that you may need. I
love that. And if you are around people that are tearing you down, lose them. Like, that's it, done. You have to get away from them. And it can be family sometimes, right?
And I'm extremely glad you said that as well, because that is a choice I had to make. I had to cut off the majority of the people in my life because they were just flat out toxic, negative people that just did not have my best interests at heart. So having to go through that period was rough, but it was so necessary.
So necessary, I love it. Thank you so much, Jason. Your honesty and your openness has been incredible. So I'm just gonna keep going around and around in the pan until I stack all the apples. we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees and bake our cake for 1 hour, and we'll be back after that. Welcome back. Our apple cake is baked and it smells absolutely amazing. You are going to want to bake this cake. It's really very simple, guys, and it is the most delicious cake. All right. So what do you think, Jason?
I think it looks and smells amazing. It's so tempting, and it's very hard to not to touch it.
It's not to touch it? Do you want to just like pick up the whole thing? And...
I just want to take it and just leave. Like, this is mine.
I promise to give you a piece. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. You being here and being open and honest, it just means so much to me, and I think it'll mean so much to our audience. I think it's so important to know that if you're having these feelings, you're feeling down or depressed, or lonely, you are not alone, right? We all go through some of these things, and if you need help, reach out. Friends, family, if you have medical insurance, you can reach somebody through that. Some businesses have EAP programs, employee assistance programs.
One thing I also want to mention, though, is one of the things that was super helpful to me is if you're in pain or if you're hurting, trying to help other people. It seems that helping others is basically like a medicinal salve to one's wounds. Like, it literally can heal your soul. Seeing the impact that your actions have on other people, that the gift of your caring, and it's just this like virtual cycle of awesomeness that it helped me out a lot as well.
That's
so
amazing.
Your local charities, your local 501(c)(3)s, heck, it could be like your local school. There's so many ways that your community could use your help, and there's so many things that you can do. You just have to give it a try, and I encourage you to do so.
Oh, I love that. And it's finding your worth and finding something you're giving back, and it's helping you get out of the house and get energized again.
Yes, it has all this multiplier effects that are just amazing.
I think you're amazing, Jason. Thank you so much. How about this amazing cake?
Yes.
Shall we do it?
Absolutely, please.
Okay, let's, I gotta hold it down with one fist. All right, we're getting in there. Oh, this looks so good.
It does, absolutely.
I'm sorry, my hands are all over your cake.
Sorry.
All right, there's your piece. Don't worry, you can get a bigger piece.
If you prefer, you can have that piece, and I'll take this piece.
This is yours?
Yeah,
You'll have the
absolutely.
whole Pac-Man?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, most of it, not all. I
said
share.
you were amazing, Jason. Wasn't that enough?
No, actually, no, it wasn't. My God, this looks so delicious.
All right, you ready to dig it in? All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Ready?
Salud.
Cheers. Thank you so much for being here.
And thank you so much for having me, and thank you for listening to my words.
It's so good. Oh my gosh, Jason. Taste it.
It is absolutely delicious. I am
Keep
like
going.
mind blown.
It's so good.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it.
Thank you, guys. Go make yourself an apple cake. Happy baking. We love you. Peace, love, and happiness. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more information on the disability that you learned about today, click the link below, and please subscribe to our channel. Peace, love, and happiness.